Hey guys, my name is Mike Carleo, and this is my 7th installment of my Guitar Player Backpack. And today, I'm going to be speaking about the major 7th, the dominant 7th, and the minor 7th bar chords. The great thing about these bar chords is that they add a lot of color and emotion to just the basic minor and major shape bar chords. Now, these chords are used across all genres of music, like blues, R&B, and rock. Now, any experienced guitar player should be able to add these colors and these shapes to their playing. So, let's get started. There's only going to be 3 7th chords that are located across all 6 strings, or that use the 6th string, the big E string, as its root. So let's get started with the dominant 7th chord. Now we're going to be playing an A major chord across all 6 strings on the 5th fret. Okay? Now, to make a dominant 7th chord, it's going to be a major triad with a minor 7th on top. So all we need to do is pick up our pinky to add that 7th. So we're playing an A7 chord, a G natural right here will be in the chord. Now this could be used as a dominant function, meaning going back to the tonic or to the 6th chord, or this could be used in blues as our root chord and our 4 chord and our 5 chord. So this is a great chord to be used across all genres of music. Now, if you're playing a blues, you might want to put the 7th on top of the chord to make a little bit of a higher voicing as well. So now that our pinky is not being used, we can fret it on the B string, on the 8th fret, adding a G or doubling the 7th on this chord. So it's going to sound just like this. So it creates that tension, that whole step tension between the root and the 7th. Okay, now that's the dominant 7th chord. Now a minor 7th chord is a minor triad with a minor 7th as well. So we're going to play a basic minor chord across all 6 strings. So we have our basic A minor chord. All we need to do again is pick up our pinky. Now we can also add our 4th finger on the B string as well, which has a nice color on top of the chord. Now we could play a minor 7th chord a different way, only utilizing 4 strings, but it still has a bar. So we're going to take our 2nd finger and fret the 5th fret, and then we're going to take our 3rd finger and fret the D, the G, and the B string on the 5th fret and play this chord. So even though we're playing the same exact minor 7th chord, it has a totally different sound and a totally different color when playing. So this is used a lot in minor blueses as well as R&B tunes and a lot of other genres. So you can utilize the 6 strings or just the 4 strings. So depending on the color and voicing that you want, you can have the option of choosing both of them. So those are the 6-string bar chords or the 4-string one. Across the 5 strings, there are only 3 main bar chords, a dominant 7th, a major 7th, as well as a minor 7th bar chord. So let's get started with a major 7th bar chord. Now a major 7th chord is a major triad with a major 7th. Okay, so we're going to play our regular and our basic major chord across the 5th fret, so a D major chord. Okay. And to get that major 7th, we're going to do a little bit of a different fingering. So we're going to bar across the 5 strings with our 1st finger. We're going to fret the 7th fret with our 3rd finger on the D string, our 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the G string, our 4th finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and then, of course, the top string is barred by our 1st finger. So it's going to sound just like this. So a totally different color than our major basic chord. This is a very warm color to me, and it's a very, very soothing one. So that's actually one of my favorite sounding chords, is the major 7th bar chord across the 5 strings. Okay, now moving on to the dominant 7th chord. So we had a dominant 7th across the 6 strings, now we have a dominant 7th across 5 strings. So we're going to bar again across 5 strings with our 1st finger, and we're going to do the same fingering as the major 7th, except pick up our middle finger. So it's going to sound just like this. So again, we could use the dominant function moving to another chord, or we could use this in a blues, which is a lot of fun. So again, our first finger across the 5th fret, our third finger on the 7th fret of the D string, our first finger is barring that G string now, and our fourth finger is fretting the 7th fret of the B string, and then again the top string being barred as well. Okay, that's the dominant 7th chord. And lastly, the minor 7th chord is going to have that basic minor shape. So let's play a D minor chord, just regular basic triad. And just like the dominant 7th and the minor 7th, across the 6th string, all we need to do is pick up our pinky, and then all of a sudden we have a minor 7th chord. Now, we can also add the 7th above, and we just put it on the 8th fret of the little E string, the first string. That's a great color to add across a minor 7th chord. So we just did the major 7th, the dominant 7th, and the minor 7th bar chord across all 5 strings. The way I like to practice my dominant 7th and minor 7th bar chords is over a blues. So if you're playing a minor blues, just like we did with the basic major and minor triads, you can add a minor 7th and also a dominant 7th to these blueses. So I'm going to play a major blues with the dominant 7th across the 1, 4, and 5 chords. Okay, and now a minor 7th blues, a minor blues using the minor 7th chords. So that's a really, really fun way how to play a blues over minor or major using the dominant 7th or the minor 7th colors. So that's how I practice my minor and dominant 7th chords. Once you get comfortable with your 7th bar chords, you're going to want to start incorporating this in your playing. While it's very important for us to increase our vocabulary when we solo, it's also very important for us to increase our vocabulary while we comp and while we play rhythm. Now, it's important for us to start including these colors and these voicings into our playing, and it's very, very important for us to start incorporating this into the style in which we are playing as well. So when you're playing a blues, you might want to have that extra note and that doubled 7th on top of the chord. When you're playing some R&B, you might want to do a different minor 7th chord instead of playing all 6 strings. So, if you want to get to learn about me more, you can check me out at my website below, michaelcarleo.com, for more information. Thanks for checking out this installment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.